A lot of people ask me, how do I get started reading? I want to make it a habit. How do I start getting through books? Now, I could say, hey, grab a favorite fiction book or one that friends are reading, and that's a good start. I think that would work. But a lot of people want consistency. They want to kind of have something that really affects them internally for some personal change, some personal development or growth. And so today in this video, I just want to quickly talk about how to start a morning routine with reading that really enriches you and gets you to the start of the day. It's not a big lift. It's not something that's really heavy. It's very simple and just a way to really start enjoying books that are nonfiction. And I know I'm like the fiction guy. I love me some fantasy, but I think there is value in reading nonfiction, and I want to talk about it. So by the end of this, you will know how to have a nice morning routine that enriches you, and we're going to keep it simple. So let's get started. So first, you want to select some books that really speak to you or that you want to have speak to you. You don't have to do a ton of soul searching. I would start with maybe what has really impacted your friends' lives, your family's life. It could be something religious. It could be something that's not religious. It could be something spiritual, however you define that. For what I'm reading Meditation for Mortals by Oliver Burkeman. I'm really enjoying this. It is a simple read about just how to look at your life, that it is finite and that we are not here for a long time. So let's try to be here for a good time. One of my favorite lessons I read today is, you get about 3 hours of deep focus every day. That could be part of your job. It could be part of, what you do just in life, whether you're a stay-at-home parent. But you get 3 hours of deep focus. And how are you going to spend that? Now, maybe your job is very arduous and you need 8 hours, 10 hours, but 3 hours is really where you have enough in your psychological tank to give out. What are you going to spend those 3 hours on? So for me, I'm a corporate trainer. I have to spend those when I am live talking to people training. And when I'm not doing that, I'm preparing training, I'm learning about something, I'm learning about tech and software, and that's what gets my 3 hours. My day demands a bit more, some days it demands a bit less, but 3 hours is a great sweet spot. So I recommend this, by the way, Meditation for Mortals. The other one I'm reading is, I'm a big Oliver Sacks fan. He's a neuroscientist. Neurologist? Let's do that. He's a neurologist, a neurosurgeon. He was made famous by the movie Awakenings. He's written a lot of books. I actually have my Oliver Sacks shelf here. He's a mentor of mine. He unfortunately passed a little while ago from cancer. These are his letters, ones that he's written to family and friends all throughout his life. It's a chonker. It's about 700 pages, and it's those real thin, sultry pages with the little, very small amount of writing. By my estimations, it'll take me over a year to get through this, but it's a nice way to get to know my mentor, Oliver Sacks, as he talks about going to Canada and going to San Francisco and trying to get an internship. And it's really nice to peek into someone's life. I kind of perused my bookshelves, and I found just other ones that I'm probably going to do. This is Jeff Tweedy's How to Write One Song. It's just about the creative life. Very small chapters, very interesting, just how do we keep a creative life with everything that's going on. And you can probably pick up on this theme of creativity. Rick Rubin's The Creative Act, A Way of Being. I see this on every, this is the best book I ever read. Again, small chapters, something to think about. It's really great if you like to journal. I'm not a big journaler. I spilled coffee on the front of it the day I got it. That's like a thing of mine. I spill a lot of my books, just have a lot of spills. I would just recommend these books for a morning read. And the reason I call it a morning read is that's when you don't have as many distractions. That's when you're kind of fresh. I usually read fiction as escape to get around decision fatigue. I don't have to decide, do I agree with this? Do I not agree with this? How does this impact my life? Blah, blah, blah. I'm reading a fantasy book. I just sort of go with it. Where when I'm reading nonfiction, I'll think about it, contemplate it. Is that something I want a part of my life? Is that not? I just think as you start in the morning, you're more open to new ideas about how to change your life. You know, not really a nighttime thing for most people. Your decision fatigue, you're tired. And with that, I usually have a cup of coffee or tea. It's usually coffee, I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could tell you I was a tea guy. I occasionally am, and I just sit down in the morning and read. If I plan on being somewhere, I bring those books with me, and it's just part of my routine. I just sit, have a moment of stillness, and just enjoy what's going on. Now, for some of you, you're like, Ryan, I'm getting the kids out the door, very hectic. Totally get it. I would say get up before them, see if you can get up before anybody else, and enjoy those 15 minutes. Maybe it's 30 minutes. Now, does it have to be 15 minutes? Girl, some days it's going to be 5. Some days you get a half hour. Whatever it is, just being in that, going for consistency above duration is the key. Now, distractions can set in. I usually talk about distractions in these videos when it comes to reading. Your phone, you're checking your email, checking TikTok, if it's still around. It's something to put aside, to put behind you, and just have some you time. One of the best things I hear about when it comes to checking your social media, checking your emails is like, none of that's going away. It'll be there. If it was an emergency, someone would actually call you. Just try to set that phone in the other room. Play some nice, I'm a big lo-fi beats person. Spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe even 5 getting that done. You'll find that time just goes by, and maybe at first, just as if you're starting anything, it's a little bit, you're distracted. I tend to keep a piece of paper. So if I think of something that's distracting, I write it down, but then I get back to it. I usually read with a pen in hand to underline, just to keep my focus. I'm very ADHD. Well, that's about all I have for this. I hope you've enjoyed this. I would love to know if you have questions about starting a morning reading habit with your morning pages. You can do that down below. I'd love to know, maybe there's a book you'd recommend that you'd love to read in the morning. Yeah. And when you get a chance, just like and subscribe. I'd love to just give you some more videos and just keep this channel going. I'm kind of rebooting it now in the year of our Lord 2025. So I'm going to do more of these videos. It's moved up the priority chain. So I'm glad to see you, and I'll see you next time.